Shalom, shalom, shalom. Giving all praise and glory to the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Words be praised for everything. I say hello, Yah, to his glorious and holy name. As always, I'm going to start with Colossians 3 and 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shama Mashiach Yahushua. Giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Shama Mashiach Yahushua. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior of Mashiach Yahushua. We give thanks to the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name changed to Israel, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Those 12 tribes. The Most High said he's the power of. So we're gonna continue on our series here. I hope it's been edifying for you. Hope you've been paying attention. We're gonna look into Ezekiel, as we thank the Most High for everything. He's worthy to be praised and thanked for everything. Look at Ezekiel, the 23rd chapter. And we're dealing with, a lot of things for our spirits and people. And, we have to look at where we came from, how the Most High looked upon us, and how we changed and how we didn't change. And some going to change, some not going to change, some going to remain the same. So the verdict is already written for those that don't want to change. And here we are, the Most High talking about, he's going to tell us about the northern tribes and the southern tribes. So, his heads up, what we get ready to deal with. In Ezekiel 23rd chapter says, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother. So the two women, the daughter of one mother. And they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. There were their breasts pressed, and they bruised the tits of their virginity in Egypt, right? Just a moment. And so it said, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt They committed whoredoms in their youth. There were they breast pressed, and there they bruised their tits of their virginity. Going back to the Egyptian captivity, that's what it's talking about. Remind you, I was talking about all 12 tribes of Israel. We're going to get into it, the northern tribes and the southern tribes. The names of them were Ahala, the elder, and Halabah, her sister. So it's looking at two women from one mother that played whoredom, right, in Egypt so far. And mind you, all 12 tribes were in the Egyptian captivity. In the name, verse 4, and the names of them were Aholah, the elder, and Aholabah, her sister, and they were mine, meaning we belong to the Most High. And they bear sons and daughters. Thus were their names. Samaria is Aholah, which is the northern tribes, representing the northern tribes, northern 9 tribes. And Jerusalem, Aholabah, which represents the southern tribes, the 2 tribes. And Aholah played the harlot when she was mine, and she doted of her lovers and doted meaning lusted of her lovers on the Assyrians, her neighbors. Because remember, the northern tribes went into the Assyrian captivity. But you have to know history to know what it's talking about. Which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, meaning when they were, the northern tribes were in the Assyrian captivity. The Syrians were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. The Assyrians that took the northern tribes into captivity. Thus she committed her whoredoms with them. You know, getting down with the Assyrians. With all them that were the chosen men of Assyria, you see? And with all on whom she doted or lusted after. With all their idols, she defiled herself. Remember, I told you in Psalm 96 and 5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So it's talking about the northern tribes. They lusted and they went after the idols to be defiled of the Assyrians. And the Most High told us in Jeremiah 10 and 2, learn not the way of the heathen. He always told us that. So the northern tribes defiled themselves by going after the Assyrians' idols. So Ezekiel 23 and 8. Neither left she her whoredoms bought from Egypt, so she kept on the same idolatry that was learned in the Egyptian captivity, going into slavery, and still dealing with their idols. That's what it said. Neither left her whoredoms bought from Egypt, the idols that they learned from Egypt, for in her youth they lay with her. See? In her youth, they lay with her, meaning they had sex with her. And they bruised the breast of her virginity and poured their whoredom upon her. You see? Being influenced by the Egyptians and the Assyrians. Wherefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians, whom she doted, whom she lusted after. Talking about the northern tribes. Thieves discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters and slew her with the sword, killed them. To the sons and daughters and killed them. As they went into captivity under the Syrians. And she became famous among women, for they had executed judgment upon her. Wonder how she became famous among women. Because we had a beautiful as women, and by them playing playing whoredom with the Assyrians and bringing in the same type of spirit from the Egyptian captivity. Because next captivity was the Assyrian captivity. So they brought in that whoredom, that lust that they had for the idols of the Egyptians into the Assyrians. So now you combine the Egyptians and the Assyrians idols. And here we are. Verse 10, Ezekiel 23 and 10. They discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters and slew her with the sword. So discover her nakedness. What do you think that means? You naked, you naked. Straight up. Passed around like I say, like a hoe, whoredom. And she became famous among women. Hear that? She became famous among women. For they had executed judgment upon her. So now that's dealing with the northern tribes, right? But it's a allegory I was talking, but it's still, if you know history, you know what happened to us, then you can relate to the story. Verse 11. And when her sister Aholibah saw this the southern tribes, Judah and Levi, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she, and in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. You know that? So we became more of a whore than the northern tribes, the southern tribes. You hear what it said? She became corrupt in her inordinate love than she, and in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. Worse than the northern tribes, knowing that they would have kept it on the Syrians. Here we are, the southern tribes, so we became worse than her. She doted lusted upon the Assyrians, her neighbors, captives and rulers, clothes most gloriously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men, looking at the outer appearance of someone and allow them to have you without any fight. Desiring the young men. He's talking about, he's using the analogy of two women, and it represents the northern tribes and the southern tribes of we, the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 13, Ezekiel 23. And welcome everyone just coming in. It says, verse 13, then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way. That they took both one way. You hear that? That they took both one way. But she's defiled. That's why I said when you look at this interracial marriage, ain't no way you can really show that the Most High is okay with this. He's not okay with that. You see it here. Then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way, and that she increased her whoredoms. But when she saw men portrayed upon the wall, the images of the Chaldeans portrayed with vermilion, she's seeing this. There are pictures on the wall. The Chaldeans are the Babylonians, portrayed with vermilion, girded with girdles upon their loins, exceeding in dyed attire upon their heads. That's what they're seeing. She's seeing this. Is like, right now, they look at someone that might have something as far as money is concerned, rich or whatever, look at a certain way, and women just melt. They just, oh, that's your price. That's what we were doing. Girded with girdles upon their loins, exceeding in dyed attire upon their heads, all of them princes to look to, after the manner of the Babylonians of Chaldea, the land of their nativity. These are Ethiopians. And the Babylonians took down the Assyrian um, empire. And as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted, she lusted upon them. Y'all hearing this? As soon as she saw the Assyrians, she lusted, doted means lusted upon them, and sent messengers unto them into Chaldea. So you got to understand this. When you look at, we've been, especially talking about the women, you've been with Egyptians, Assyrians, now looking at the Babylonians and looking at them and liking them. So you got all these mindsets of all these different captivities from one to the other, to the other, to the other, and you taking on their ways. You position yourselves, because you know the majority of our people, 2/3, they're not going to really deal with this righteously anyway. And right is before shuts, right? So they're not dealing with it right. They're gonna deal with it, in a wrong way. So they're not gonna be righteous. And the majority of our people are not righteous. You understand that? So it says, as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted, she lusted upon them, and sent messengers unto them into Chaldea, unto the Babylonians. And the Babylonians, the Ethiopians, came to her into the bed of love. Hey, they just open for whatever, do whatever. You hear that? And the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love. What do you think that bed of love is? To have sex with them. And they defiled her with their whoredom. And she was polluted with them, and her mind was alienated from them. You see? This is sad, because you have all these different mindsets to look at. Who am I going to be? Who they're going to be today? Who they're going to be tomorrow? Egyptian, dealing with their idolatry. They've been with them. Then the Assyrians, they have their idolatry. They've been with them. Now they're looking at the Babylonians that's going to take down the Assyrians and knowing that they're going to go with them. So it's like, okay, well, you're just natural born. That's why most I says Israel, a homeborn slave. It says, so she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness again. Again. It's a third nation. And she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister. Moses said he took his mind off of the southern tribes, like he took his mind off of the northern tribes, he said, because we're looking at the northern tribes and the southern tribes, but he's using a woman in comparison to the things that we did in offending him, as he's being offended now, by really not talking about him and bringing him more. Is more about people to me. It seems like debates are about Israelites and nations and salvation. That's all about people, but nobody really know the Most High, who gave the laws, statute, commandments, the rules and regulations to us to be able to breathe alike to everyone. Verse 18, it says, so she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister. So by us, just bowing down and offering ourselves up to these nations, following their idols, most I say he was alienated from us. The southern tribe, like he was alienated from the northern tribes. Yet she multiplied her whoredoms, and calling to remembrance the days of her youth, wherein she had played the harlot in the land of Egypt, going all the way back to the first captivity. She recalling the time, going back like people do now. They don't let the past go. They still in the past. Everything is like geared toward how it is as far as what your life is now from what the past was, and you still in the past. So you really not in the truth, because the truth will make you free. when you deal with the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, wasn't in the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High in the past when you just coming in the truth, or you just, your life is just, operating to learn what's righteous. You wasn't righteous in the world. But now you coming to the truth, you're still looking at when you was wicked and comparing your life as being wicked and the things that happen in your life being wicked, or my life or anyone else's life being wicked. And I say that truthfully because of the fact that we didn't know the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, and so forth. We didn't know that. We didn't know anything about really the Most High. Like people that talk about him now. That's why he got to shut down all these kingdoms, powers and authority in these kingdoms. Then he gonna be accepted when he put them all of Hamashiach enemies under his footstool, as it is written. You see, that's why you have a head start in trying to promote him and exalt him. Our power, man. Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh, the power of powers, man. But here we are, we played the whore. We thought about all the idols and the things that we did in our nakedness way back in the Egyptian captivity. Verse 20, for she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issue is like the issue of horses. You understand what that's talking about, women? Men. Talking about they were large in size. That's what it's talking about. And remembering that, lusted after it. Like horses, the guy rides like a horse, like a donkey is saying. Thus thou callest to remembrance the lewdness of thy youth, remembering how we were so lewd in with the Egyptian captivity, and bruising thy tits by the Egyptians for the paps of thy youth, taking your virginity. The Egyptian, going all the way back there, remembering them. What happened with them? Remind you, you and the Babylonians. So you remembering what we did and being with the Egyptian. Say, therefore, O Olabah, thus said the Most High Power, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee. So you like the Egyptians, you like the the Assyrians, you like the Babylonians. Most High said, therefore, O Aholabah, thus said the Most High Power, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee, from whom thy mind is alienated, and I will bring them against thee on every side. Since you like them, he said, I'm gonna flip it around. You think you just gonna show your nakedness and be a whore to all these nations so far? He said, I'm gonna flip it on you. And I'm gonna turn their mind against you, he said. In the Babylonians, verse 22, the Babylonians and all the Chaldees, Pekah and Sheol and Koah and all the Assyrians with them, all of them desirable young men, captains and rulers, great powers and renown, all of them riding upon horses. And they shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with an assembly of people, which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet round about. And I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgments, not according to the Most High's judgment. He had these nations that we went into captivity, slavery, and bondage, judge us according to their judgments, whatever they want to do. So if you want to be lewd and lustful and whoredom, be a whore with these other nations, say, and they coming with war. They coming with everything to bring you down, and you're going to be judged by their judgments. Because you didn't want to deal with the Most High. And his judgment said, and I will set my jealousy against thee. He's talking about us. He said he's going to set his jealousy against us. And they shall deal furiously with thee. You hear that? He said they're going to deal furiously with thee. They shall take away thy noise and thine ears, and thy remnant shall fall by the sword. Those that's the remnant, say, I'm going to kill them. Make sure that they fall by the sword, they die by the sword. They shall take thy sons and thy daughters, and thy residues shall be devoured by the fire. She's going to burn everything that we have when they come and take us down. This the Most High. That's why I say, when you know prophecy, even for what we got to look forward to in our time, it's going to happen. He said he's going to do it. He did it. They shall also, you hear what they shall, that means they're going to, in the future, they shall also strip thee out of thy clothes and take away thy fair jewels. Remember the Most High decked us out? I went through that, how he decked us out with his embroidery. You know, he decked us out. Linen, fine silk, and jewels, gold. He decked us out. Silver. He said, thus will I make thy lewdness, your lustfulness, to cease from thee, and thy whoredom brought from the land of Egypt, so that thou shalt not lift up thine eyes unto them, nor remember Egypt anymore. So when he have them do what he gonna do to them, you can be thinking about Egypt no more. He said, for thus say the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Behold, I will deliver thee into the hand of them whom thou hatest, into the hand of them from whom thy mind is alienated. Hear that? And they shall deal with thee hatefully. Oh, you done gave yourself up to these Egyptians, gave yourself up to the Syrians, gave yourself up to the Babylonians. You say, and they shall deal with thee hatefully. That's why I say it's important to know the Most High. It's important to do what he say do. Because he's telling you, say, they're going to deal with you hatefully and shall take away thy labor, whatever we working for, and shall leave thee naked and bare, butt naked, straight up. You hear what he said? He's going to leave you naked and bare. And the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be discovered. Say the nakedness of thy whoredoms is going to be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredoms, our lustfulness and the things that we, giving ourselves over. It's talking about two women, y'all, for you just coming in late. And welcome. Shabbat Shalom. It says, I will do these things unto thee. It's always a reason why the Most High do the things that he do. He said, I'm going to do these things to you because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen. And Most High said, learn not the way of the heathen. But here we are, we went a whoring after the heathen. And because thou art polluted with thy idols, it was a snare to us. We polluted ourselves with their idols. You got to understand, we have the Most High power of powers of powers of powers. Ain't no idol compared to the Most High. And we know this. This ain't something that, you got to figure out. I mean, during this time, we were still sacrificing, doing all that. We knew. The Most High gave us his laws, statutes, commandments. We said certain things that we know how he felt about the other nations and their idols. If he said all the nations, gods are idols, and here it is, we have the Most High. He said, I will do these things unto thee. I said, I'm going to do these things unto you because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen and because thou art polluted with their idols, man. And that's what we done over and over again, y'all. Look, even during we up to the Babylonian Empire. We did this over and over again. Let's go to the Greek Empire. Look what we did. First Maccabees 1. This is the Greek Empire. When the so-called white man came into power, this is what we did. I'm not talking about him or any of them. I'm talking about what we did as Israelites. Think about it. First Maccabees 1. And like I said, we have the Most High. And look what we did. Dang. First Maccabees, the first chapter, and verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant, that's a contract or agreement with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. See that? This is what they plan to do. Let's go make a covenant with the heathen. because since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. And we're going to go into this during the feast of dedication. It says, then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. You see, we ain't even got to the Greek Empire right here in Ezekiel. We just dealt with the Egyptian captivity, the Assyrian captivity, and the Babylonian captivity. But the Most High told us, that you want to be lewd with all these nations? He said, he's going to make these nations hate us. This is what it said. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of them, verse 13, then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. This is how wicked we were. We went to the king to get an ordinance that we could be like the heathen. And then the ones that's righteous can't deal with them because they got these laws. Just like right now, we have ordinances and laws, statutes, commandments that's with the Most High that say you can't do certain things. But in this country, they say you can do it. That's against the Most High's laws. And we can't do what the law says because we're in captivity under them. Same thing here. That's why they look what they did. Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, these heathen nations, we're talking about the Greeks, so the white man's first empire, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. That's contrary to what the Most High told us to do from Jeremiah 10 and 2. It said, learn not the way of the heathen. It said, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. But this is what we did. Whereupon, look at what we did. A lot of y'all probably go into these places of the heathen, as it said, whereupon they built a place of exercise, like your gyms that you're going into right now, at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen. You see that? That's the custom of the heathen. And made themselves uncircumcised, meaning they stopped following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Because you can't make yourself uncircumcised. A man can't make himself uncircumcised once he's been circumcised on the 8th day. Come on now. And made themselves uncircumcised, meaning they stopped following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and forsook the holy covenant. See? Forsook the laws of the Most High, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. See? So we're going to go deeper into that, Most High Thaahwam will during the feast of dedication. But I'm just a part of how, we have the Most High, and we, right, even to this day, we more concerned about people than we are the Most High. Or my Sheikh Shah, prove me wrong. Show me a lot of lessons on just about the Most High. You don't see it. What's the difference? It's all about people. You talk to us over and over again, but what's the point? You say repent. You don't know who to repent to. You don't know the one you repent to. Keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You don't know who gave the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, his characteristics, his essence, his characteristics. Hey, the Bible say, just show me him. You should be able to show me just the Most High. It's like I have, I have it all the time with me. Do you know the Most High? Do you know the Most High? Scripture, just about him. Elevate him. This is what it says, Coach. This is what you're seeing right now. And I went to the Greek Empire. 4 different empires. Now we just forget you, Most High. That's what we said to them. Like they're saying right now. We're going to follow the way of the heathen. This is what it says. Ezekiel 23 and 29. I didn't intend to go through this, but it just, as I'm going through it, it just hit me. You know what I mean? It's like, you need to hear it. I need to hear it. You need to hear it to see where we're at. with the Most High, and how we were and how we are now. You can, when I do the comparison, you'll see that, man, we got a long way to go, man. And they shall deal with thee hatefully. These other nations, since you want to, we want to play the whore with them. He said they're gonna deal with us hatefully, and shall take away all thy labor. Everything we doing gonna be working for them, and shall leave thee naked and bare, straight butt naked. And the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredoms, our lustfulness and our whoredoms. Say, I will do these things unto thee. Why? Because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen, and because thou art polluted with their idols. See what I mean? That's why when you look at pollution, man, it's real filthy, filthy McNasty. You can't get no cleanness out of pollution. No way. You know, I see it all the time out here in Cali, man. This is something that's filthy McNasty. And that's how he look at us and going a whoring after the heathen. And because thou art polluted with their idols. That's why you're not dealing with us being with them. Let me show you. I'm just dealing with the truth. Take it or leave it. It says First Ezra 8 and 69. This is what it says. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions, there go pollutions again, of the Gentiles. You hear that? And the Most High told that. The Most High told us this too. Pollutions of the Gentiles, right? So we want to follow all these nations. We want to be like them. Most High got something for you. He had something for us. He got something for us for the future too. Look what he said. Now he's talking to Esau. We jump into the future, right? Isaiah 47. And verse 6. He said, I was wroth with my people. He's talking to the so-called white man, the superpower of the earth. He said, I was wroth with my people, who are the 12 tribes of Israel. He said, I have polluted mine inheritance. You hear this? Most High, he polluted us. Polluted mine inheritance. We the inheritance of the Most High, the 12 tribes of Israel, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Mercy is not getting something you do deserve to get. Say, they ain't show us no mercy. Upon the ancient, the old men, hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. You know, they worked us until our bones came out of our socket. I mean, out of the skin, it was like just out. Our bones, like a bone, just, I mean, we worked so hard until you just died like that. So going back to First Ezra 8:69, the nation of Israel, the princes, the priests and Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land. This showing you that the Most High don't want us to be marrying with these other nations, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles. To wit, of the Canaanites, these are all Hamitic people, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites. You can read about them in Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, the 1st verse. Down, that's the law concerning how we're supposed to be dealing with the other nations and not, going into them and bringing forth their children through our seed, or the daughters to take on the seed of the heathens. We're not supposed to give our sons to them or our daughters to them. It says Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites. That's the Aboriginal Chinese people. Egyptians, Mo Africans, Mo Hamites, and Edomites. You hear that? So-called white people. Listen, for both they and their sons have married with their daughters. And the holy seed, 12 tribes of Israel, is mixed with the strange people of the land. They were your strangers right there. The Most High said we're supposed to be getting with them. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity. See that? And so they vowed to get rid of the women and the children. And tell you in Ezra 9 and 7. So Ezra rose up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed the law and marrying strange wives, thereby to increase the sins of Israel. And now by confessing, give glory unto the most high power of our fathers and do his will. Now he said, do the Most High's will. What's the Most High's will? And separate yourselves from the heathen of the land and from the strange women. Okay. Then cried the whole multitude and said, with a loud voice, like as thou hast spoken, so will we do. Verse 36. Keep on reading down. You can see all of them had taken different strange wives, right? Say all these had taken strange wives, and they put them away with their children. So they put away the women and the children that they had bound. Because, brothers like to say, it's all right because a child is an Israelite if it's from a Israelite man, but that's not something that the Most High is pleased with. He said, do his will. And that's what they did. They got rid of the women and the children that they had by these strange women of these other nations. And so that's why we're looking at how the northern tribes and southern tribes played the whore or played whoredoms, the lewdness with these other nations. Egyptians, because we're in captivity on these nations, just open themselves up to them. That's why he keeps saying, verse 29, Ezekiel 23:29, and they shall deal with thee hatefully and shall take away all thy labor. Everything we work for, so you can be working for them, and shall leave thee naked and bare. Hear that? Remember, the Most High decked us out. He decked us out. Man, we can't even imagine how beautiful we were. When the Most High said he did it, we read about it in Ezekiel 16 chapter. He decked us out, man. But he said, will leave us naked and bare. And the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be discovered, both thy lewdness, you want to be all freaky and lustful, and thy whoredoms. He said, I will do these things unto thee, that I is the Most High. He said, I will do these things unto thee. I'm going to do these things unto you because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen. You think it's not important for us not to learn the way of the heathen this day? And because thou art polluted with their idols. I say the idols today are these religions and how they really talk about the gospel, but they're not really talking about the truth of this Bible. They're not here. They're not going through this right here, talking about the northern tribes, southern tribes, what we did, this, that, and the third. That's why they're supposed to learn from us. We're the ones that are supposed to be bringing this truth into this world in these last days. Say, thou hast walked in the way of thy sister, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, southern tribe. Therefore will I give her cup into thy hand. The same cup she gave to the northern tribes, I'm going to give to you. Thus said the Most High Power, thou shalt drink of thy sister's cup deep and large. Thou shalt be laughed to scorn and had in derision. It containeth much. You hear that? See, that cup containeth much. So you're gonna drink of the same cup that he gave the northern tribes, man. That's why when you read the Bible, we mostly in captivity. But it's mainly the southern tribes. Northern tribes, they were in Assyrian captivity for years and years and years and years. So as they went to the Syrian captivity, here we are. That's why you coming back talk about Judah. You see what they did. Say, now you're going to follow the same suit as what they did. See, I'm going to give you that cup. He said, that cup going to contain a lot. It's going to be deep. Thou shalt be filled with drunkenness and sorrow, with the cup of astonishment. and desolation with the cup of thy sister Samaria. Talking about with Samaria, northern Israel. Talking about the northern tribes. A lot of times you see Samaria, it could be talking about it be talking about the northern tribes, or it might say Assyrian, it might talk about the northern tribes. If it say Egypt, it's talking about the southern tribes a lot of times. But you're just comparing the northern tribes by Samaria, because that's where the head tribe Ephraim was at. But remember, the Assyrians took them out of northern Israel. Thou shalt even drink it. Verse 34. Thou shalt even drink it and suck it up, and thou shalt break the shreds thereof, and pluck off thine own breast. For I have spoken it, said the Most High Power. Man, how are we going to pluck off our own breast? He said, he's serious, boy. He said, you're going to pluck up your own breast. It says, therefore, thus said the Most High Power, because thou hast forgotten me. You better hear this. That's why I'll be so fervent about pushing the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because he said, hey, therefore, thus say the Most High Power, because thou hast forgotten me. And I think the most that I see in Israel right today is about people. It's mostly about people. Who is who? You know, they talking about salvation is for who? Everybody. That's people. You know, now they talking about Cornelius as an Israelite, or is it a Gentile? That's people. How the Most High fit into this? You know, I mean, whenever you decide what side you're going to be on, you still ain't talking about the Most High. That's why he said, therefore, if thus say the Most High Power, verse 35, because thou hast forgotten me and cast me. That's the Most High. That me is the Most High, behind thy back. Let me read you again. Therefore, thus say the Most High Power, because thou hast forgotten me and cast me behind thy back. Like he's nothing. Don't mean nothing to them. Therefore, bear thou also thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. The Most High said, moreover unto me, son of man, wilt thou judge Aholah and Aholabah? Will you judge the 12 tribes of Israel, the northern tribes and the southern tribes? Yeah, declare unto them their abominations, that they have committed adultery, and blood is in their hands. And with their idols have they committed adultery. You see that? And have also caused their sons, whom they bear unto me, to pass from them through the fire, to devour them. Put our sons in the fire, to burn them up to these heathen idols. That's why I say you commit adultery. That's spiritual adultery. That's why he said, look, James 4:4. This is what a lot of people are rolling with now. That's why I say you got to let that old man go. You got to let that old woman go. Or you still the same person. You ain't in the truth. When you have to resort to back to where you was at when you was wicked as ever, and you can't say you was righteous. We can't say we was righteous. We not following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Resort back to that. I'm gonna go back to when I was a devil. Are you serious? Listen, that's why he said this in James 4:4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? That means you at war with the Most High. That means when you're a friend of the world, he said that makes you be at war with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. That's why we're looking at this, man, because we way back in Ezekiel, and here it is. That applies to us right now, this day in time, because people are caught up in their feelings and they're caught up in what it is that the world offers that will have you sin against the Most High. What do you say? Ezekiel 23:35, he said, therefore, thus say the Most High Power. The Most High telling us this, because thou hast forgotten me. You just heard what we did in the Greek Empire. But you just was here, some of you just coming in, you might not have heard it, was in First Maccabees 1:11 down. Well, we made a contract, went to the dang wicked King Antiochus Epiphanes, and got a contract. Straight up made a covenant with the heathen to be like them. When we gonna get it? Well, I gotta read it to you again. Therefore, thus said the Most High Power, because thou hast forgotten me and cast me behind thy back. Therefore, bear thou also thy lewdness, your lustfulness, and thy whoredoms, laying down with all these dang on nations, learning the ways of the heathen and dealing with their idols. Man, the Most High said, moreover to me, son of man, without judge, Ahola, and Aholabah, yeah, declare unto them their abomination, they filthy wicked acts, their sins against the Most High. The Most High said, moreover unto me, son of man, wilt thou judge Ahola and Aholabah? Yeah, declare unto them their abominations, that they have committed adultery. That's against the Most High. And blood is in their hands, and with their idols have they committed adultery, and have also caused their sons whom they bear unto me to pass for them through the fire to devour them. Man, what kind of mindset? I mean, that just show you how you can just be programmed with following something to death. Because once I say he gonna give us to those that hate us, he gonna make them hate us. Even though they love our women, he said he gonna make them hate us. And here we are now, man, doing the same thing. That's why he said, look at 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. But I say that the things that which the Gentiles, that's these heathens that we've been talking about, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, sacrifice or worship. They sacrifice or worship to devils and not to the Most High. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils, it says. So you don't want us to be having fellowship with devils, deceitful and evil people. You cannot drink the cup of the Most High and the cup of devils. You're either going to be down with this truth and operate in this truth, learn how to learn it, live it, and apply it in your life, or you're going to still operate with devils. And you still go back to the devil you were. If you're looking at back in the past when you was a devil, deceitful, evil person, because you wasn't following the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, in the world. That's why you call you adulterer and adulteress is. Because you committed adultery, you as a man, you committed adulteress against as a woman against the Most High. That's what we did as a people. And to go back to where you was at, you know, like if I go back to when I was in the world and I'm not in the truth, I can't deal with that. I got to deal with what I know in the truth. From this point, this scripture says this. I wasn't going to those scriptures to think about how I felt in the world, but y'all people, they still got the same feelings they have in the world. You ain't in the truth yet. You don't understand what it's about. You should know, okay, well, how's the Most High feel about this? Remember what he just said? We forgot him. And that's most people forget him at a drop of the head. Like that. Boop. Here come the world, something for the world. Boom. He just forgot him. Threw him in your, tossed him over your back. And you better understand, he's the only one going to deliver us. Or tell me somebody else that will before him. I always get silence. Nobody talking. Better understand. He said you cannot drink the cup of the Most High and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Most High table and of the table of devils. You can't do it. You sitting there with the devil, or you go back to the time you was a devil, and you relate to whatever it is that's present now. During the time that you were. I mean, I can't make it no clearer. And y'all, some of y'all sit there with, you know, they the devil. You know that they ain't right, and bring you back to where you was at when you was in the world. And you compromise with the devil. That's why I say you can't be with the Most High and sit with the Most High table and sit at the table with devils. You got to make a choice, man. It's going to come down to it because all you join unto them going to fall by the sword, as it said. Y'all can take it any way you want to. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I'll just keep it real. Because I love the Most High and I love my shut. I love my people, those that's really going to pay attention to how we got to be. Because I've been in this too long to see this, that, and the third, whatever, to where we at now. Looking at where we at now, it's all about people. People. What about the Most High? Anybody talking about the Most High? That's why he said, you forgot me. And toss him back of our back, man. Not only that, we sacrifice our own children, man, to these gods. These nations were doing it. That's why I said, learn not to wear the heathen, but we learned it. And here we are now. That's why I say you got these spirits, man. But these people that they don't want to do right. They don't want to be right. And some of you follow suit right with them. Psalm 106:35. It said, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. You see that? We're mingled among the heathen and we learned their works. And they served their idols. That's what we've been reading about. But we in Ezekiel, but we in Psalms now and learn their works. You see? And serve their idols, which was a snare, a trap unto us, unto them, which is us. The them is us, we the Israelites. So yeah, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. We just read about that. You know, you can't be with the Most High and you with devils. No, you got to choose the Most High. Sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils, like some of you still doing right now, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrifice unto the idols of Canaan. First, remember the pollution of the Gentiles that we read about in First Ezra 8:69? First idol worshiper nation, its name was what? Canaan. The idols of Canaan. And the land was polluted with blood. That's where they defiled with their own works. Let's talk about us. And went a whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Most High kindled against his people, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, insomuch that he abhorred, therefore he hated his own inheritance. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen. You want to be with the heathen? I'm going to give it to the heathen, he said. He gave us into the hand of the heathen, these other nations, and they that hated them. They didn't love us and don't love us to this day. He say, they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Thus say the Most High. Ezekiel 23, verse 38. Moreover, this they have done unto me. Hear that? Moreover, this they have done unto me. That me is the Most High. They have defiled my sanctuary in the same day and have profaned my Sabbaths. The same thing we did in the Greek Empire. We're not in the Greek Empire. We're in the Babylonian Empire. Same thing that we did in the Greek Empire. Made the Sabbath day unholy, the holy days of the Most High unholy. But when they had slain their children to their idols, then they came the same day into my sanctuary to profane it. Threw the children into the idols of Canaan, burn them up, then came to the sanctuary and made it unholy on the Most High Sabbath days. And the Sabbath days are the holy days also. Welcome, Shabbat, Shalom, welcome. But when they had slain their children to their idols, Then they came the same day that they killed the children to the idols of Canaan. Came the same day into my sanctuary to profane it, to make it unholy, make the sanctuary unholy, profaning the unholy. And lo, thus have they done in the midst of mine house. And furthermore, that ye have sent for men to come from far, unto whom a messenger was sent. And lo, they came for whom thou didst wash thyself, painted thy eyes, and decked thyself with ornaments. So they put on that eyeshadow and painted their eyes and decked thyself with ornaments. See that? They washed you, cleaned yourself up real good, painted thy eyes, and decked thyself with ornaments, and sat it upon a sadly bed, and a table prepared before it, whereupon thou hast set mine incense and mine oil. Then put the Most High incense and oil up there. Play the harp, and a voice of a multitude being at ease was with her. And with the men of the common sort were brought Sabians, these Africans, Hamites, from the wilderness, which put bracelets upon their hands and beautiful crowns upon their heads. Then said I unto her, that was old in adulteries. I mean, been doing adultery a long time. Will they now commit whoredoms with her, and she with them? Yet they went in unto her, Sabians. Yet they went into her. You got to look at all these different uh, idols that you're dealing with of all these different heathen nations, and the spirit that they putting on you, that you carrying from one generation to another generation to another generation to another generation, while we all jacked up. Why it don't faze me to see that how people can really just be in this and then they not in it, because they got all these different spirits they're dealing with of all these different nations that we tweeting about here. That's a lot of confusion. Verse 44. Yet they went in unto her. I mean, they had sex with her. As they go in unto a woman that playeth the harlot. They went into her as they go into a woman that played a harlot. But then they wasn't harlots. They was like hoes, just giving it up. They used to harlot get paid. Nah. But it's saying that's her job, to have sex with men and so forth. That's how you compare, them as a whore. Like a harlot, that's what she's doing. That's her job, to be going, from man to man, laying down, getting money, money, money. That's why I said, yet they went in unto her as they go in unto a woman that playeth the harlot. So went they in unto Aholah and unto Olabah, the lewd woman, the lustful woman. They went into the women just like you comparing it to a harlot. And that's her job, to lay with men and make money. But the northern tribes, southern tribes, these women played the whore. They didn't get paid. They was just open their legs up for whatever, whatever. And the righteous men, they shall judge them after the manner of adulteresses, adulteresses, and after the manner of women that shed blood, because they are adulteresses. That's the women. And blood is in their hands. But thus say the Most High Power, I will bring up a company upon them and will give them to be removed and spoiled, removed and robbed. He said, I'm going to rob. I said, I'm going to bring a company against them, and they're going to be removed and spoiled, robbed of everything they have. And the company shall stone them with stones, kill them, and dispatch them with their swords. They shall slay their sons and their daughters and burn up their houses with fire. And the company shall stone them with stones and dispatch them with their swords. You think y'all can play the whore if you want to. They shall slay their sons and their daughters and burn up their houses with fire. That's why I say, man, people be playing around, man. That's the Most High said, what he gonna do? Thus will I, that's the Most High, cause lewdness to cease out of the land, that all women may be taught not to do after your lewdness, your lustfulness, and they shall recompense your lewdness upon you, and you shall bear the sins of your idols, and you shall know that I am the Most High. You hear that? And they shall recompense your lewdness upon you. It's payback, y'all. And you shall bear the sins of your idols, and you shall know that I am the Most High. That's right. You better hear him. He said, you're going to know that he is the Most High. Let's go to Genesis, the 38th chapter. Genesis, the 38th chapter. So these are spirits of old, but you know, if you look at the beginning of this class, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. It's just repeating itself, just in a different day and time. Well, we have to look at what it is. You got to know. You don't know, you should ask. To be want to inquire, so that you're not making the mistakes that we have made so many times, man. And welcome, everyone. Give a like to the videos. And subscribe to the channel. We're looking at Genesis 36th chapter. No, 38th chapter. Salaki. And it's our forefather Judah. Let's read about him. Genesis 38:1. It said, and it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned in to a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hirah. So he's with this Adulamite, whose name was Hirah. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite. You know, it's kind of sad because Isaac and Rebekah told us he ain't want us to deal with these Canaanites, man, whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her, right? Meaning he had sex with her. And she conceived. She didn't get pregnant if he didn't have sex with her. So he went into her. And we've been seeing how the northern tribes and southern tribes played the whore against the Most High. So Judah went into her, this Canaanite woman, and she conceived and bare a son. And he called his name And she conceived again. She got pregnant again and bare a son. And she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived, had a third, and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Shazib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And his firstborn, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Most High, and the Most High slew him. You hear that? He was wicked in the sight of the Most High, so the Most High killed him. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And this case right here, that's the law. And I wonder how, those that say a man can't have but one wife, what if Onan already had a wife? And his brother, his wicked blood heir, Most High killed him, but he didn't have seed. He didn't bring no children for him. So now Judah's telling Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her. When you go into her, that's marriage. You're going to marry her. When you go into her, you're going to marry her. And raise up seed to thy brother. So now we have to look at the law. Since this was going on here, So we got the law, because I know brothers say a man can't have but one wife, but if this man is already Onan is already married and his brother died without seed, what's the law say? Let's read go to Deuteronomy 25th chapter. I believe it's it in verse 5. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. She can't marry outside to another nation or a stranger. Her husband's brother, hear that? Even once a child, her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. What y'all got to say about that? So what if he already married? What if he already got two wives? What if he already got one wife? He got to go. That's the law. He's supposed to go into his brother's wife until she get pregnant and bring forth seed for his brother. And it shall be that the firstborn which he bear, this verse 6, shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. You hear that? That's the law. So if your brother dies and he's married and you don't have any children, then you as a brother have to marry his wife, go into her, and have sexual intercourse with her until she conceived and she bear a child that carry your brother's name on in Israel. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth, the first child she hath, shall succeed in the name of his brother, which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate. That's where the elders was, unto the elders, and say, my husband's brother refuses to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. That's what it's called, the duty of my husband's brother. And she's going to go to the elders and say, hey, he don't want to bring forth seed of his brother, who was my husband. That was he telling the elders. Verse 8, then the elders of his city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, I'm not going to go unto her to bring forth seed for my brother, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders and loose his shoe from off his foot and spit in his face. You know, spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house. And his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that have his shoe loosed. So disgrace. So going back to Judah, this is why this is happening. Because the law, we just read the law, and that's what the law says. But bing, people, boom, they don't want to hear that. Bing, they don't want to hear that because that's like our people, like I said, you forgot the Most High. Don't talk about the law, keeping the law, and then you hear the law, then you don't want to hear it. Most High know that's going in the books against you. All you that don't want to hear it. Going back to Genesis 38 and 7, and Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Most High, and the Most High slew him. Most High killed him. He was wicked, the Most High killed him, right? And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife, to go unto your brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother to carry his name over, like we just read in the law. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife, when he laid down and had sex with her, that he spilled it on the ground. He poured out. He poured out and spilled it on the ground. lest that he should give seed to his brother. So he pulled out. Thus he would get, he would, you know, could have conceived. She could have conceived by him staying in, but no, he pulled out, and his calculations fell on the ground. Then it said Judah to Tahar, excuse me, Tamar. You don't know, verse 10, Salakia. And the thing which he did displeased the Most High, wherefore he slew him also. You know that? The thing he did, he's supposed to be going into his brother's wife to bring forth seed for his brother. Instead of him staying in, he pulled out, and the seed fell on the ground. So, and the thing which he did displeased the Most High. Y'all ready for that? The thing that he did displeased the Most High. Wherefore he slew him also. He killed him also. Put him to death. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah, my son, be grown. But he said, lest peradventure, perhaps he die also, as his brother did. Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. So she waited for Shelah to grow up. He's young. And she's sitting waiting in her father's house, right? And in the process of time, the daughter of Shuah, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted. And went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnath, he and his friend Hirah and the Adullamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her and covered her with a veil. Like she covered her face up and wrapped herself and sat in an open place, which is by the way of Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown. She saw that, the son she was waiting for, he was grown, and she was not given and she was not given unto him to wife. So Judah hadn't given his son Shelah to Tamar to marry, to bring forth seed still for his brother, the first brother, not the second or the third one. They were supposed to be bringing seed for the first brother, When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot. So he thought her to be a harlot, prostitute, because she had covered her face. That's how the prostitute did. They cover their face up. And he turned into her by the way and said, go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. He knew it was his daughter-in-law, Tamar. And she said, what wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, this the wisdom of a woman. And she said, thy signet and thy bracelets and thy staff that is in thine hand. And he gave it her and came in unto her, had sex with her, and she conceived by him. And she arose and went away and laid by her veil from her and put on the garments of her widowhood, put her garments of widowhood back on, took her veil off, put her garments of widowhood back on. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand. But he found her not. He couldn't find her because she was right out there, playing her role as a harlot. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where's the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after, it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, that daughter-in-law hath played the harlot. And also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt. This is serious. You got to look at this because, right now, the lewdness of how this world is now is altogether different, Like she was supposed to wait at her father's house until Shelah, was grown. And he had grown up and Judah hadn't given him to her. So she went and said, okay, you're going to give him, I'm going to get some seed one way or another. So she went laid with the daddy. Wow. So about 3 months, it comes to Judah, say, hey man, Tamar is pregnant. She done played the hoe. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man who these are, am I with child. She had a signet ring, a staff, bracelet, and she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these? Who do these belong to? The signet and bracelets and staff. So who they belong to? And Judah acknowledged them and said, oh, wow. She had been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah, my son, and he knew her again no more. He didn't have sex with her anymore. It came to pass in the time of her travail, she having these contractions, that behold, twins were in her womb. She was having twins. And it came to pass when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took the bound upon his hand, a scarlet thread, a red thread, saying, this came out first. His hand came out first. So this came out first. It came to pass as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out. And she said, how hast thou broken forth? Say, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore, his name was called Pharez. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah. So you see, so our stories, that's right here that we need to know about. And you said it went right with the law, following the law that the Most High gave us. So we won't forget him. But one hour that was done today, it'd probably be a real big deal. But that's the law. And it's the thing about it, even if it don't apply to you, you still got to accept it. And that's the problem I see with a lot of Israel. They don't want to accept certain things because you've been Edomanized. You've been brought into the mindset of how this world is. And our world is different. You see it's different. Look at this. Leviticus 21:9. Leviticus 21:9. This is the law. And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she make herself unholy by playing the whore, she profaneth her father. She make her father unholy. She shall be burnt with fire. Wow. And he that is the high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured, and that is consecrated to put on the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes. But some teach you ain't supposed to have your head covered. But it says, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes. Neither shall he go in to any dead body, nor defile themselves for his father or for his mother. Look at Deuteronomy 20 and 10. Deuteronomy 20 and 10. And I did a lesson on that, for those that wonder why I have a head covering. I did a lesson on it. Carnally, physically, I have something, and I did it spiritually, what it means. Deuteronomy 22 and no, let's see. Deuteronomy 22. No, Deuteronomy 20 and 10. Deuteronomy 20 and 10. It says, when thou comest nigh or near unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make thee answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. Meaning they're going to pay us like what we pay taxes. People going to pay taxes unto us, and they're going to serve us. That's how it's going to be in the kingdom. See this? And it shall be, if it make the answer of peace, if they want to be peaceful and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries, meaning you're going to pay taxes unto thee, and they shall serve thee. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Most High thy power have delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite, meaning kill every male thereof, with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil, whatever they have thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself. And thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Most High thy power hath given thee. See, he said, kill all the males and take the women and the children and the cattle and all the things that we want to, receive that they have that's worth anything. Thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but are the cities of these people, which the Most High thy power does give thee for an inheritance. Thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. Read it again. But the cities of these people, how you get everybody, Most High love everybody out of this. Everybody's loved by the Most High. Look, but the city of these people, which the Most High thy power does give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. You know that? He said, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. That means kill everything that breathes. He said, thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites and the Canaanites, Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, of the Most High thy power, as the Most High thy power hath commanded thee, that they teach you not to do after all their abominations, which they have done unto their gods, their idols. So should ye sin against the Most High your power. He said, when thou shalt besiege a city a long time and making war against it to take it, Thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them. So we almost be chopping those trees down, for thou mayest eat of them. And thou shalt not cut them down, for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the seeds. Only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for meat, fruit trees and so forth, bearing things that we can eat. Thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued. Yeah, because it's going to happen. I mean, that's why he said, even in the time of salvation coming on this earth, same thing. Isaiah 60 and 12. For the nation, Isaiah 60 and 12, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee. And he said, you're going to be pay tributaries to us. Nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Verse 14, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, which we have been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee. We don't have our own monetary system. I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. He said, thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, these heathens, and shall suck the breasts of kings. And thou shalt know that I, the Most High, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. You better understand, y'all. It's very important. If not, then what you gonna do when he come for you? Serious. It's real serious. When you think about it, you want to be part of that. You're not part of the destruction that's coming against everyone that's joined against us, including our people. 2/3 of our people not gonna make it. Look at Isaiah 54. Verse 6, it says, I'll start at verse 5. It says, for thy maker is thy man. I don't like that word HUSBAND because that goes back to BAAL, yo. So our maker is our king. Most high power of hosts, power of army of angels is his name. And thy redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. You hear that? Our power, the most high power, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, he's our redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The power of the whole earth shall he be called. You hear that? He ain't called that now, but he's going to be called the power of the whole earth. When he set all the enemies of a Mashiach Yahushua under his feet, as it tells us in 1 Corinthians 15:24 down. When he put all of Hamashiach's enemies under his feet, then he gonna be accepted. That put all of Hamashiach's enemies under his feet, and then Hamashiach gonna rule for 1,000 years. He's gonna be subject to the Most High. That the Most High could be all in all. That's what this is all about. Yes, all praise to the Most High. Say, for the Most High have called thee as a woman forsaken. He called us, the 12 tribes of Israel, as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou wast refused, said the Most High. See, for a small moment have I forsaken thee. Hear that? Just a little moment. To the Most High, because 1,000 years is one day to the Most High. He said, for a small moment have I forsaken thee. But with great mercies, hear that? Mercies, not mercy, but mercies. Give you something that you don't, not Not getting something you don't deserve to get, man. No, not getting something you do deserve to get. He gonna have a lot of times we deserve to get something, we're not gonna get it. That's mercy. Is not getting something you do deserve to get. And grace is getting something you don't deserve to get. You get it right. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, he said, but with great mercies will I gather thee. Hear that? He's gonna gather us. The work of the Most High, not no man. No matter how you look at it, Most High dealing with quantity, he dealing with quality. Straight up. It says, in a little wrath, I hid my face from thee for a moment. He said, a little wrath to the Most High. Look at all we went through and been through. He said, I hid my face from thee for a moment. But with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, said the Most High, thy Redeemer. Yes, man, that's good news right there. I feel that. Let's continue here. Go to the book of Hebrews. Hebrews, the 13th chapter. And verse 4. It say, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers, those that just sleep around and just get themselves up, like we just read about, northern tribes and southern tribes, in Ezekiel 23rd chapter. But the whoremongers and adulterers, the Most High will judge. I'm telling you, man. Mashiach Yahweh, he letting Mashiach Yahweh do the judgment for him. Mark 7th chapter, verse 21. It says, for from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts. You know? So the heart represents the way you think in the Bible, because the heart just beats blood into the different organs and parts of your body. Your heart is in your right here. Because people doing like this, like follow your heart like that. No, the heart is the way you think. From within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts. It's the way you think. That's what I say, follow your heart, follow the way you think, they're telling you. Because your heart can't do nothing but pump blood. Your mind is what's going to direct you, tell you what you're going to do. Proceed evil thoughts. Adulteries. First thing your name, adulteries. Men going with married women. Women just married, going outside their marriage to sleep with another man. Fornications. Dealing with other guys, other idols. Murderers. Come on, y'all. Thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lies, lasciviousness. We went over that earlier in this lesson. All kind of lustful things that you lusting after, sensually, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within. That's what you think and defile a man. You see that? That's what defile a man. The way you think. And when you think about it, then you start doing these actions, then you become a sinful person. And you become evil. You become the devil. Deceitful and evil. The more people do it, they don't want to say, I admit that they're doing something that's wrong. You got to be caught, seem like. That's why you have the truth. The truth. You ain't no liars going to the kingdom. You got no reason to lie. For what? Who's that important? You just got to lie. You're going to lie. You're going to not allow yourself to go to the kingdom behind a lie, man. Get out of here. That's why it's Jeremiah 7:9 says, their heart, the way you think, is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The Most High search the heart. Most High search the mind, the way we think. Say, I try to reigns, even to give every man according to his ways. Even though the religious people say that it ain't about no works. Your ways is how you operate in following the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, having faith in him, according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings, the things that we do. Proverbs 28:22. Proverbs 28:22. He that hateth to be rich hath an evil eye, and consider not that poverty shall come upon him. He can't take nothing with him. Can't take nothing with him. Be out of here. Exodus 22. Exodus 22:16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, does not engage to another man, and he lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. You lay with a woman, if she's not engaged to another man, to be another man's wife. A lot of times, the father and the mother, they determine, hey, my daughter gonna marry your son. And they young, knowing that they're gonna grow up and marry each other. It was arranged like that a lot of times. But it's if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, not engaged, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, see how the father had power? Say, you can't have my daughter. He shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. There's a certain dowry of virgins money that you have to pay. Shekels. Okay. Look at Proverbs 3:5. And then we got to get into these spirits. Proverbs 3, the 3rd chapter, verse 5. It said, trust in the Most High with all thine heart. So that heart means pumping the blood through your organs of your body. Say, trust in the Most High with all thine heart. An example. And lean not unto thine own understanding, it said. Trust in the Most High with all thy mind, the way you think. And lean not unto thine own understanding. A lot of people, they be in their feelings, man. It's contrary to the way we should be according to the way the Most High made us to be. And you go into sin. Well, I tell you in Ecclesiasticus 3:24. Ecclesiasticus 3:24 say, trust not in your own mind, the way you think. We're supposed to be thinking about what we learn in these scriptures when the book is closed. Now we apply it in our life. Ecclesiasticus 3:24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, worthless thinking, worthless heart, right? Since the heart is where you think, and vain opinion, how you get opinion if it don't come from your thoughts? But many are deceived by their own vain opinion. And an evil suspicion, that's the devil comes in with that evil, have overthrown their judgment. Make you make the wrong decision. Well, you got to look at what's right according to the scriptures. And then knowing what's right with the scriptures, then you have people that don't know what the situation is with the scriptures, what it says. They want you to feel how they feel. I mean, how many times I've seen this in all these 30-something years, man? I mean, like, they want you to feel the way they feel, and it's not, it's contrary to what you should feel according to the scriptures, the Most High's word. And that's not cool. A lot of people be offended. Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 2. Follow not thine own mind. Perfect scripture. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. Remember, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. The way you think when it's off according to not being as the Most High would have us to be. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart, ways of your mind, the way you think, and say not, who shall control me for my works? Who gonna control me for what I'm doing? For the Most High will surely revenge your, which is your pride. Say not. Most High say you're gonna revenge your pride. And to tell you that perilous times, dangerous times gonna be on this earth because of pride that's in people. Well, we can't be that way. We cannot be prideful. That's hateful before the Most High and man. Say not, I have sinned. And what harm has happened unto me? That sounds like the people that's doing the sins now in the real way. I've sinned, ain't nothing happened. So they keep doing it. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm has happened unto me? That's people that say, look, I've been doing Christmas and Easter and all these different holidays for all this time. It didn't happen to me. Remember this. Since you know, maybe you can share it with them. But the Most High is long suffering. Hear that? The Most High is long suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. Hear that? He will in no wise let thee go. He gonna get you. He said he will no wise let you go. He's long suffering. He suffered a long time. Just because they ain't speaking, don't mean that he ain't gonna get you. So he gonna get you. That's why we have to know these scriptures. We have to know what it says and apply it in our life. It's so important because without the application of this, man, we Proverbs 17:10, we just might as well not say we're in the truth. If you just follow your own way, that's what Esau say. Follow your own heart, don't it? Isn't that what they say? Follow your own heart. Follow your own mind. Follow what feel good. Get you thrown in the lake of fire. Look, in Proverbs 17 and look at 9. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love. Love, what about love? Love, you did all this heinous crimes against us, and we done did it against each other, and we walking in sin. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, want all this love. But he that repeateth a matter separated very friends. Keep doing the same thing over and over again. Nobody want to be around you. It says, a reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. You know that? You tell a wise man, hey, don't do this. This is what you should be doing. This is how you should be rolling, according to what you have learned from the knowledge, wisdom, understanding this truth and the Bible and the laws of the Most High and the things that we learn from Genesis to Revelation, everything in between. When you learn it, live it, and apply it in your life, Then you have people that you have to deal with that don't know, and it'd be like we're on the same page. We not on the same page. You got to look at, okay, and I look at it like this, okay, well, who is it that you supposed to know? If they talking about they got a volcano out there in the Pacific Ocean that's a mile long, and so it corrupt. If it just shoot its lava out, it says it's gonna cause 10,000 earthquakes in one place, everywhere, all over the world, man. Just from that one place of that earthquake erupting. What disasters can happen? I mean, these are the things, a lot of things that's written, the Most I say He's gonna do, because we forgot about Him. And He gonna get it. It's all about Him getting a name. He got him a name in Egypt. When He did all them 10 plagues on the Egyptians, He said, I'm hardening Pharaoh's heart so I can get a name. And I'm telling y'all, if you can hear me or don't hear me, you're not gonna be blessed. You have nothing to say about Him. He ain't in your conversation. You just praying to Him. You ain't no different than anybody that's in any religion. They pray. Everybody pray. But who's really talking about Him? Who really giving Him powers and authority and the glory that He deserved in this earth as He ruled in the kingdom of men? That's going to be some terrible things going to be happening on this earth, y'all. But it's not going to happen to everyone. Some people going to be able to, because you got to have a 1/3. You got to have a remnant of us, 12 tribes of Israel, and the remnant of these nations that's got to go into the kingdom and serve as they go, as it is written, point blank. Servants and handmaids. Then, like I say, they're going to pay tributary. They're going to pay tributary to the kingdoms now, or wherever they at. They're going to do the same thing in the kingdom. Changing the guard. Yeah, a reproof entereth more into a wise man or a wise woman than 100 straps into a fool. Some people, they saw, I mean, that's why I say it's so tense and so sensitive that I don't know how y'all going to deal with what's going to go down. Always got to go into your feelings here and feelings there, man. Most I don't care nothing about that. He had no respect to person. He had no respect to none of us. Prove me wrong. He got respect to you. He said he have no respect to persons, period. Man, what we done to him, if you really know, to the extent of that's we just read about. How he just said we forgot about him and threw him over our back. Get out of here. Here we are now looking at a little bit of knowledge, and we put ourselves in the kingdom already. We're not. We're not there. We're not there, yo. We got to work hard to get there. It's not an easy task, etc. The righteous scarcely gonna be saved, and that's those that's doing what the Most High want us to do. Say scarcely. Speaking of them, I was thinking about this. Look at this. Let's see what y'all think about this. Go to Exodus 20. This is the 10 Commandments in Exodus 20th chapter. And verse 18. I was talking about that earthquake that they said out in the Pacific Ocean, right? Look at this. This is when the Most High gave us the 10 Commandments. Exodus 20 and 18. But people don't know nothing about no fear of the Most High. I say, what's the fear of the Most High? They say reverence, respect, but they don't know that the fear of the Most High, here it is right here. Look. Exodus 20 and 18. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. That sounds like a volcano to me, don't it? And the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. They ran away from that mountain. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die. So that's the fear of the Most High right there. And Moses said unto the people, fear not. So now, they seeing the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet about to bust their eardrums and the mountain smoking. Come on now. They see the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood far off. They ran away from that mountain, seeing all that. You think they wasn't scared? Huh? You think they wasn't afraid? That's why he said in verse 20, and Moses said unto the people, fear not. In other words, don't be afraid. For the Most High has come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. You hear that? That his fear, that's a fear of the Most High, may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where the Most High was. You hear that? The Most High dwell in thick darkness. A lot of y'all, man, y'all gonna die of darkness, man. When people died in the plagues that he brought upon the Egyptians of darkness. He couldn't even light no cigarette lighter couldn't do this. Boop, that didn't work. Boop, that didn't work. What no light? Do that didn't work. Darkness. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where the Most High was. For the Most High said unto Moses, thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel. Is it to anyone else? Say to the children of Israel, no matter who was there with us, ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me golds of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. This is what we did, Joe. We did just what he said not to do, we did it. Remember we made the golden calf? Man. Okay, I want to look at and the Most High hated us for that. You gotta understand, when you really take the time to not think about yourself and really think about him, we really offended him and still offended him. And it's all about people. It's all about people. And then people don't know enough of the Most High for him to redeem them. I mean, it makes sense to me. He the one gonna redeem us, so why not lock into him? He got to tell him I shall go shot. Let me prove that. I don't want to just talk, y'all. Look, Matthew 24:36. Prove that right quick, because some of you might be new and you might be just listening for the first time, and we have a certain reputation that you think you know, but you really don't know that in these last days the Most High have ordained us to bring forth this truth, his word and his laws, statutes, and commandments to everyone, or you're going to perish, point blank. You want to learn what it is that we teach you, you're going to perish. And I'm not talking outside of my neck. I could read it to you. Matthew 24:36. You tell me the Most High and important. Say, but of that day, this is my Shai speaking. He said, but of that day and hour knoweth no man. That's when you're going to bring forth salvation on this earth that everybody talking about. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Only the Most High know. Period. He died, rose on the third day, or Mashiach did, right? Walked there for 40 days, and they said, hey, man, you're here, you know how we are. We couldn't even wait for Moses to go get the laws. 40 days. You think it took 40 days for the Most High to write 10 commandments? No. That's why we got 613 laws. And we have all throughout the Bible, we learning what's right from wrong. That's why you look at rights, what's right, just, right? Right, just, you know, got right in there. And that righteous, take right is right in there. That's what's right. Acts, the first chapter. This the 43rd day. He died, rose on the third day, walked the earth for 40 days. And they asked him this question in verse 6. I love it. He said, when they therefore will come together, Acts 1 and 6. They asked him, saying, Mashiach Yahushua, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? I mean, come on. The kingdom was coming to we, the Israelites. That's what it said. We restore again the kingdom to Israel. And he said it to them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father. I don't understand how people can say that the Mashiach Yahushua is the Father when he's saying here clearly, they asking him to tell them when it ain't going to be. Like in Matthew, you go Matthew the 24th chapter, I didn't go there, but verse 3, they ask you what's going to be the second, the sign of him coming, the second coming that we're waiting for. And he told them, only the Most High know. Here it is right here. Again, they asked him, are you going to restore again the kingdom to Israel? See, the kingdom coming to Israel, regardless of what you want to say it's going to come to everybody or not. They asked that question. And he said, to see if he said, no, the kingdom come to everyone. He said it to them, verse 7, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father had put in his own power. How can you just say, hey, I'm going to tell you when it's going to be because it's in my power? No, he said the Father, the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, have put in his own power. Only the Most High know, y'all. That's why you better understand. Better try and get a relationship with the Most High. Let's go to Matthew, the 10th chapter. In the first verse. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, and the disciple is one that's learning. Once they learn, they become apostle. He gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. You see, he gave them power against unclean spirits. These are spirits that's in people that are unclean, demons that's in people, and to cast them out, the ability to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness. He gave them power, and he give us power to be able to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. If you're really in the spirit with him, verse 8 says, heal the sick. He told me, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers. That's a lot of power, y'all. Leprosy is just like what they call today, vitiligo, where your skin turn like your palm of your hand, the bottom of your feet, your skin start to turn like this on this side, that side just start turning different colors, like the bottom of your feet and the palm of your hand. He said, heal the sick, gave them power. To heal all manner of sickness. He said, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead. We raising the dead right now. People that's in a dead state of mind, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. That's why it say freely ye have received, freely give. So I'm giving it to you free and freely give. That's how it's supposed to be. You ain't supposed to have to pay for this. That's on your own. If you decide you want to give something, because it tell you in Proverbs 23 and 23. Because I see a lot of things that goes on. They make merchandise out of people, So you want to know something, just go on my YouTube channel. I'm not charging nothing for it. I got all kind of topics there. All praise to the Most High. About Psalm Mashiach Yahushua. Proverbs 23:23. It say, buy the truth and sell it not. See? So we can't sell this. Can't put no price on this. You pay me this amount of money, then I'm going to give you this lesson or that lesson or that lesson, whatever. No. It's not real. That's not how you said, buy the truth. You want to buy it, you say, and sell it not, but I can't sell it. I can't put a price tag. I tell you, you get you like, you come in and I'm gonna teach you all about, how to rebuke the devil. I'm gonna teach you about the most high, his essence of the most high. This is a whole lesson you're gonna learn about him. I'm telling you to learn about him. It's already there. You just go on my page, it's already there. Most high, most high, most high. I know that's a title. The characteristics of the most high, characteristics of Mashiach Yahushua. I mean, all these different titles, man. It's like, but it say buy the truth. Say buy the truth. So you gotta buy the truth. You have to buy it, but nobody's supposed to be selling it. That's like you want to give an offering, whatever. That's what you do, because it costs money to do this. It ain't free, but I can't sell it. You know, it's also wisdom. You buy wisdom and instruction and understanding. You see, you can't sell it though. It's no price. That's why you just do it. Like I said, what do you say? Freely, when you got it, you received it. Freely give it. But then those that have, the ability to be able to help and moving forward in this truth, then you can give. But that's why I say buy the truth. You buy it. I bought it. I put money into the truth. It costs us a lot of money. Just if y'all see us tomorrow, it costs a lot of money for us to be on Hollywood. It ain't free, believe that. No, by no means. Because brothers come from 3.5 miles, 300 and what, 3.5 hours away. 2.5 hours. I could cost me I take about an hour. Come a long ways to be out there every week. But the most high provide. I mean, you're gonna make it happen. Look at Acts, the first chapter. No, Acts the 8th chapter. Man, all praise the most high. Boy, I felt terrible today, y'all. You don't even know. Me to feel the way I feel right now. It's only the most high. I'm gonna say outside, boy. Wow. That's the 8th chapter. But I just tell the story, I remember I used to be feeling terrible. And they had a little angel be on this side, a little cartoon. You see angel be on this side, angel be on that side. So you want to go, you'll feel good. Why don't you just get your butt down and sit down somewhere? Don't say you need to go. You just go, get in the word. You feel better. You feel better. I'm like, yeah, no, you don't want to go. You don't feel good. This, that, and the third, and just negative, right? And the positive say go. Because when you go, you feel better. And I'm telling you, I would go and I would feel great. Just like right now, I feel great compared to where I felt, getting ready to start the class. And, before I started, man, all praise to the Most High, man. He's awesome. He's an awesome power. You believe in him, you breathe him, you talk about him, you be about him, man. Wow, man. Acts 8th chapter, the first verse. And Saul, excuse me, not Acts. Yeah, Acts 8 and 1. And Saul was consenting unto his death. This after, Stephen was put to death. Saul was right there. Saul is Paul. That's why when people want to act like they're not worthy to come into the truth because of what they have done, no. Don't feel that way. You can't feel that way because Saul was considered until his death, to Stephen's death. He was, man, he was persecuting the church, man. He was like, and we the church, the Israelites, man. That's Saul. And the Most High converted him. So I know anybody can be converted. And at that time, there was a great persecution against the church, which are the Israelites, which was at Jerusalem. And they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles that are Mashiach Rashai ordained. And devout men carried Stephen to his burial and made great lamentations over him. He was a righteous man. He was a powerful, anointed man. As for Saul, whose name was changed to Paul, that everybody want to run to, He made havoc of the church, entering into every house and hauling men and women, committed them to prison. You hear that? He was converted. He made havoc of the church, entering into every house, hauling men and women, committed them to prison. Therefore, they that were scattered abroad went everywhere preaching the word. Then Philip went down to the city of Samaria and preached Mashiach Yahushua unto them. And the people with one accord gave heed unto those things which Philip spake, hearing and seeing the miracles which he did. You know, Philip was the one that, when you read, what's that, John 14 and 8, it's Philip, it's the apostle Philip. John 14 and 8. Philip said unto him, Mashiach Yahushua, show us the Father, and it suffices us. Mashiach said unto him, have I been so long time with you, and hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, show us the Father? So now, I hope the so-called Christian sanity people don't take that and say, see, he said he's the Father. No, he's just saying, like he already said it in St. John 10 and 30. That's why you got the understanding to the precepts. He said, I and my Father are one. They agree. That's what that one means. I have to bring this out because look what it says here. And I challenge you on this because okay, look at St. John 17. I and our Father are one, right? So when you look at, I'm telling you that he's saying that he agreed. And I can go through that whole scenario to show you that what the Father does, that's what he does. What the Father say, that's what he say, because he is the word of the Most High. Simple as that. That's real simple, but it might be too simple for the simple. That's too simple to realize that it's so simple that you simple and not seeing the simplicity of what he's saying. Look at this. So we say, I and my Father are one, right? They're not the same. Understand this. So now when you go to John 17, verse 21, it says that they all may be one. Now, how could I be one with some other men? If the Father and the Son is the same, if the Father and the Mashiach are the same, say, I and my Father are one, meaning they're the same. How can I be one with another man? Make that make sense? You say, that's why you look at John 17 to 21, that they all may be one as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou, that's the Most High, have sent me. You see the separation there? And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one, in agreement. I and them, because we Mashiach them. I and them, and thou and me. Thou is you and me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them as thou loved me. See? Father, I will that they also that are one in the Mashiach Yahushua, whom thou hast given me, be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory, because he the glory of the Most High, which thou hast given me, but thou lovest me before the foundation of the world. That's why he asked in verse 5, he asked him what? And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee, that's you, before the world was. You see that? That's a prayer that he's praying to the Most High when he's on the earth. He praying to himself. If he's the Most High, he ain't got to pray. If he's the Most High, I don't have to pray. He praying to the Most High. The people want to look at it any way they want to. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he told her, okay, we'll go to St. John 14:28. Ye have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If you love me, you will rejoice, because I said, I go unto the Father. He said, I go unto the Father. Well, my Father is greater than I. So how can they be the same? Clearly, he tell you right there, he said, the Most High is greater than him. Point blank. Now, going back to, well, let me go one more. Go to 1 Corinthians. This is how we be one as he would want us to be here. 1 Corinthians, the 1st chapter and the 10th verse. Speaking of we the Israelites. Now I beseech you, brethren, who are the Israelites, by the name of our power, Mashiach Yahushua, that's Basham of Mashiach Yahushua, that's how we reach the Most High, that ye all speak the same thing. That's how we be one. We speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you. You see, that's why you see a lot of these different camps, different churches, different congregations, they speak the same thing. They down with each other. Whatever it is they believe in, that's what they believe in. That we all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfect. Here it is, perfectly joined together. How? In the same mind and in the same judgment. You see? That's how you become one. And that's how you be one. That's what he's talking about. Now let's go back to wicked Saul. In Acts the 8th chapter. And now we're looking at Philip. And when Philip said, hey, matter of fact, go back to St. John 14:8. I think we covered it, but I'm going to make sure concerning Philip, the disciple Philip, 14:8. Philip said unto him, Mashiach Yahushua, show us the Father, and it suffices us. And Mashiach said unto him, have I been so long with you, and yet have thou not known me, Philip? He that have seen me have seen the Father. And how said thou, show us the Father? How you ask me to show the Father? So you see me, see the Father, like Son. Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself. The words that Mashiach spoke unto the disciples, he said, he's not speaking of himself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Say, believe me that I am in the Father and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. You see? He said, that the words that he spoke are from the Father, not his own words. Because he's the word of the Most High. That's real simple. But people want to make it complex. It's not a complex thing. It's not a complicated thing. It's just where you at, you know. Look at St. John 5:19. So that's the words that he spoke was the Father's words. Now he's gonna tell you this in John 5:19. Then I said, Mashiach said unto them, verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, the Son, who is a Mashiach, can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. The Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, that's he is the Most High doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. For the Father loveth the Son and showeth him all things that himself doeth. I don't understand how you can read that and think that he's talking about himself. He said the Father's greater than him. He said, for the Father loveth the Son and showeth him all things that himself doeth. And he will show him greater works than these, that ye may marvel. For as the Father raises up the dead and quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will. That's right. That's right. Going back to Philip, it says, I just want to make sure I covered that, all of that in John 14. Yeah, that was it. Going back to Acts, the 8th chapter and the 7th verse. This turn to Philip, say, for unclean spirits, excuse me, let's go back to verse 5. Then Philip, the same Philip we've been talking about from St. John 14 and 8, the disciple Philip. Then Philip went down to the city of Samaria, that's northern Israel, and preached Mashiach unto them. And the people with one accord gave heed unto those things which Philip spake, hearing and seeing the miracles which he did. Because you got to look at Mashiach said in St. John 14 and 12, he said, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. See? So here it is. He said in Acts 8 and 6, and the people with one accord gave heed unto those things which Philip spake, hearing and seeing the miracles which he did. He said, gonna do the things he done, even greater things. He going to the Most High. He said, I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. He said, for unclean spirits, that's demons and people, crying with a loud voice, came out of many that was possessed with them, and many taken with palsy, polio, paralyzed, and that were lame were healed. And there was great joy in that city. For there was a certain man, though, called Simon, was beforehand in the same city used sorcery, witchcraft, and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one. I mean, it's been a lot of, just like when Moses threw down his staff in Egypt, in front of Pharaoh, his musicians threw down their staff, and they all turned into snakes. 3 snakes, and the musicians, from them throwing their staffs down, Moses had his staff, he threw down, turned into a snake. Moses' snake ate all 3 of them up. But they had power. Like, this is real, y'all. Use sorcery, witchcraft is real. That's why I tell you, when I read the last sentence of Revelation 18 and 23, I can see it on our people, a spell on our people. It's like certain things, it's like, wow, why you can't see this? It say, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. By their witchcrafts were all nations deceived, man. It's a high level of demons in this place, man. It's by their sorceries were all nations deceived. And that's real. Like, when I look at, I present the information through the Spirit of the Most High that showed me that we should be saying Lord, which is Baal. Come on. But we still doing it. You still doing it? Something wrong with that picture, man. When you look it up, I mean, these are things that are not being presented by no one I know, really. See what it says? Can't do it enough. That's what it means. Lord. And that's their God that they put in the Bible, so you be calling on it. It's real simple. This ain't no hard thing. Amen is Zeus last name. Alexander made sure he got that put into place. He only ruled for 12 years. And during them 12 years, he made sure he had their number one God, Zeus. Everybody calling on Amen. You still calling on their God, their idols. When you go back to the beginning of this lesson, that's what we're dealing with. Whoredom. Dealing with their idols, the heathen idols, until this day. What's the difference? They created, the Europeans created the word God, G-O-D. We call them dogs. The Mashal Shai call them dog. Plural. Mark 7:24 down. They took dog and spelled it backwards, came up with God. And that's what y'all using. I mean, these are the things that I look at. Wow, man. You make an excuse to say it's okay. It's not okay. Not if you ain't trying to offend the Most High. He said we forgot him. Go back and look. He said we forgot him and threw him behind our back. Like it is today, man. You're gonna bow down, though. Tell you that. You're gonna realize Hosea 5:15. Look at that lesson I did, Hosea 5:15. It might move some of you, maybe, hopefully. He said, I'm gonna go to my place till we acknowledge our offense and seek his face. That's deep right there. I couldn't hardly get past acknowledge our offense. It just started coming all kind of ways of how we offended him. And then that's the way that we offended him too. Seek his face. We turn his face away from us. In our affliction, we're going to seek him early. So how much we got to be afflicted before you really seek him? It's serious, man. So here we are, Acts 8:9. But there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery, witchcraft, and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one. So you see, the people was bewitched from his witchcraft that he was bringing forth on the people in the New Testament, to whom they all gave heed from the least to the greatest, saying, this man is the great power of the Most High. But he using witchcraft. And to him, they had regard because that of a long time he had bewitched them with sorceries. Remember, I just told you that all the nations were deceived by their sorceries, their witchcrafts. That's why you got to look at, we fighting demons in high places. This ain't no, we ain't fighting flesh and blood. We fighting demons in high places, y'all. And you see here it is right here. And to him they had regard because that of long time he had bewitched them with sorceries, with witchcrafts. But when they believed Philip preaching the things concerning the kingdom of the Most High, and by Shalom Mashiach, the other side, they were baptized, both men and women. And a lot of y'all think that's just baptism, or like you might have got baptized and dumped in some water, right? Pulled up out of the water, right? But let's look at the real baptism before you even think about doing that. In Ephesians 5 and 26, Ephesians 5:26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. You see? So now when you look at St. John 17:17, it says, sanctify them through thy truth. So clean us up with the truth. Thy word is truth, right? So we know, class, for those that have been coming to my classes for a long time, we know what the truth is. Psalm 119, 142. Let's sing it together as we always do. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So we understand it starts from the laws that the Most High wrote with his finger, the commandments that the Most High wrote with his finger, That's going to clean you up when you do the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws. That's going to clean you up. But you got to know who it is that wrote the laws. That's the Most High. That's what I'm trying to push right now, because he's not being, talked about and known at all. Hardly. He's acknowledged whenever something great happened. All praise the Most High. This and the third, but when something bad happened, all praise the Most High. Ain't nothing like that. People don't know how to do that because they're not. If he's not in your conversation, then how you gonna put him in your conversation when something bad happened? You better be praising the Most High. He the one did it. He the one allowed it to go down. Or you can say, hey, you ain't touching. You ain't doing that right now. You ain't touching them right now. Or he allowed it to go. Because look at, he said who he loves, he chastens. So you either get chastised because he loved you, or you get chastised you had to pay for something you thought, something you said, something you did. In the past, the present, whatever. That's why we gotta look at this, man. Look at Ephesians 5:14. He said, wherefore he said, awake, wake your butt up. Thou that sleepeth, you that sleeping, and arise from the dead, a dead state of mind. And not being an analytical thinker to look at this simplicity of a Mashiach Yahushua. A lot of y'all go into this deep spirit, man. That's why you've been brought upon a spell from the witchcraft, the sorceries that they have on people. And say ain't no sorcery, no enchantment to Israel if you want to. Why you can't see this, man? Something simple as not offending the Most High and just talking about him. Letting him be in your conversation. He love. His name is jealous. All I hear mostly is I. So I say most of people talk about people. The whole conversation is about people. Majority of the people, that's what they talk about, people. So I say, therefore he said, awake, thou that sleepeth, and arise from the dead. And Mashiach Shai shall give thee light. And that light is, we know, Proverbs 6:23. That law is light. See then that you walk circumspectly. You better walk carefully and cautious, not as fools, but as wise, It's very important to have this wisdom, man, which is proper application of how you apply knowledge, which knowledge is the gathering of the right information. So you can apply the right information, which is the knowledge in your life, man. That's why I say, see that ye walk circumspectly. That's carefully, cautious, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You hear that? Redeeming the time because the days are evil. Are you ready for this? So the days are evil. So it's going to be great perilous times on this earth because of great pride, man. People going to have pride. It's going to be something else. So the days are evil. Colossians 3:5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, lust after unnatural things, evil concupiscences, evil passionate things, and covetousness, desiring what somebody have, which is idolatry. You hear that? For which things sake the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience. The wrath of the Most High is coming on the children that do not follow the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Therefore, you are disobedient. In the which ye also walked some time before we were enlightened to what's right and inquired about what's right, when you lived in them. But now, At this time, it should be with all of us. Ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice. It take energy to do all this. These are spirits. You angry, but you don't really have a cause to be angry as you are, because you're dealing with demons and spirits that you're dealing with that just rousing up, and it's a little something. That's why people they ready to explode on someone, because they have malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Filthy communication out of your mouth, man. And people that say, this is it's okay. For all these different curse words and all this stuff, that's filthy communication out of thy mouth. Lie not one to another, saying that ye have put off the old man with his deeds. Or are you still, like I said, you still going back to the time that you was the devil, that you was dealing with the world, and now you call yourself in the truth, but then still you should always go back to how you were before you knew the truth. And can you justify how you think, how you speak, how you act with the scriptures and being in the truth? Or are you still that old man? Are you still that old woman? It says, saying that ye have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man or new woman, which is renewed in knowledge. The right information has been gathered, which is the knowledge after the image of him that created him. That's real, y'all. That's how we got to look at this, because otherwise we're going to be caught up in, like we just read about, we want to be like the heathen. Oh, yeah, we're going to be like them. I could see them having everything all laid out for you, famine in the land, coming with they vans and their trucks, and here y'all going through whatever you're going through. Come on, y'all, all gotta do is have the music going and they eating, and you hungry, you're gonna jump right on them buses and take you right to them concentration camps. Just have some music playing and sound like they're having a good time. You see them, everybody, they got them already locked in. Everybody gonna follow right through with them. It's written. That's what's gonna happen, y'all. Look, go to First Thessalonians, first chapter. Let's start at verse 1. For yourselves, brother, know that our interest in unto you, that it was not in vain. Say, hey, we came to you and we were serious. It wasn't worthless. Say, but even after that, we had suffered before, because you suffered. Went through a lot and were shamefully entreated. Hear that? Shamefully entreated. Are these preachers suffering? Are they shamefully entreated? As you know, at Philippi, we were bold in our power to speak unto you the gospel of Mashiach Yahushua with much contention. People coming against them. This wasn't something that was just openly accepted, like it's not openly accepted this day. For our exhortation was not of deceit, nor of uncleanness, nor of guile. It wasn't of no lies, man, point blank, or uncleanness and the things they were dealing with. But as we were allowed of the Most High to be put in trust with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men. There were no man pleaser, but the Most High, which trieth our hearts, which know about how we think every day, 24/7. But neither at any time use we flattery words, as ye know, nor a cloak of covetousness, design whatever you have. The Most High is witness, Most High know. Nor of men sought we glory. See, they ain't trying to make themselves no reputation like men be doing. Nor of men sought we glory, neither of you, nor yet of others, when we might have been burdensome as the apostles of Mashiach Yahushua. But we were gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children. Though being affectionately desirous of you, we were willing to have imparted unto you, not the gospel of Most High only, but also our own souls, because ye were dear unto us. Cared about them, man. That's true. That's pure love right there. Look at 1 Thessalonians 3:1. Wherefore, when we could no longer forbear, we thought it good to be left at Athens alone. And I mean, it's going through a lot of persecution to say, and sent Timotheus, our brother and minister of the Most High, and our fellow laborer in the gospel of Mashiach Yahushua, to establish you and to comfort you concerning your faith, that no man should be moved by these afflictions. You hear that? That no man should be moved by these afflictions. That no man should be moved by these afflictions. For yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto. Y'all hear that? A lot of y'all think you're coming to the truth, you ain't gonna be dealing with nothing. You say that no man should be moved by these afflictions. But most of the time, I'm gonna go to my place till we acknowledge our offense and seek his face, and our affliction, we're gonna seek him early. That no man should be moved by these afflictions. That was Hosea 5:15. For yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto. Some of y'all haven't went through a lot of suffering. You ain't went through a lot of affliction, but you're gonna be dipped in the fiery furnace of affliction. Believe this. Don't look at somebody else and think, oh, it ain't gonna happen to me. It's still happening to us. We that's been in this truth forever. Still happening. Still got to deal with things, you know. Because I said, we love it, he chastens. Then he said, you don't have to still deal with these afflictions. He said, look, because you're appointed thereunto. Y'all ready for that? It say, but verily, truly, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, and ye know. For this cause, when I could no longer forbear, I sent to know your faith, that you believe in the Most High. That by some means the tempter, that's the devil, had tempted you, and our labor be in vain. Here come the devil, that's, you know, say his labor be in vain because you ain't dealing no more. You ain't trying to deal no more. Look at Mark 16 and 17. Mark 16. So like I say, it's gonna be a lot of tribulation that some people gonna have to go through more than others. Some people haven't been through anything. They just, you know, rolling it like it's gonna be all cool. It's not that kind of party, y'all. Mark 16 and 17 say, and these signs shall follow them that believe. They got faith in the Most High. In my name, by Mashiach Yahushua, shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues, different languages. They shall take up serpents, poisonous snakes, and this is us now. And if they drink any deadly thing, we drink it as water. Things that we drink, it shall not hurt them. All praise to the Most High. You hear that? And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. We're gonna be able to lay hands on people, and whatever problem they have, they're gonna recover from it. All praise to the Most High. Acts 5 and 12. Acts 5 and 12. I'm just about finished. Acts 5 and 12. And by the hands of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought among the people. And they were all with one accord in Solomon's port. And of the rest, there's no man joined himself to them, but the people magnified them. And believers were the more added to the Most High, while Mashak was shy, multitudes, both of men and women. When they say what? These signs and wonders that were wrought among the people. Okay? Insomuch that they brought forth the sick into the streets. Remember, Mashak said he's going to do the things he done, or even greater things. They brought the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at the least the shadow of Peter, the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them. Just his shadow going by might overshadow some of them, and they be healed. There came also a multitude out of the cities round about unto Jerusalem, bringing sick folks, and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, them had demons in them. And they were healed, every one. Then the high priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is the set of the Sadducees. The Sadducees, the Pharisees are different. Sadducees are like the religious leaders and so forth. But the Pharisees were the religious leaders that was dealing with politics, with the Romans and all that. So-called white man, or the so-called Italian Caucasian, which were the superpower of the earth when you read in the New Testament. We're not in the Greek Empire, we're in the Roman Empire. Then the high priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is the set of the Sadducees, and were filled with indignation. They have attitude, they angry, and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison. You hear that? They put them in prison. You hear what it said? It said, just a shadow of Peter was healing people. Verse 16, there came also a multitude out of the cities round about unto Jerusalem, bringing sick folks, and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed, every one. Here come the high priest. Jealousy, man. That's something else, man. That jealousy. Verse 18, and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison. But the angel of the Most High by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, go, stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. And when they heard that, they entered into the temple early in the morning and taught. But the high priest came, and they that were with him, and called the council together, and all the senate of the children of Israel. So we had a senate, y'all, in the Roman Empire, and sent to the prison to have them brought. But when the officers came and found them not in the prison, they returned and told, saying, the prison truly found we shut with all safety. All the locks were locked on the prison doors, and the keeper standing without before the doors. But when we had opened, we found no man within. Now, when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priest heard these things, could they have teleported? Yeah. When they heard these things, they doubted of them whereunto this would grow. Who gonna hear about this? Can't let this get out. Then came one and told them, saying, behold, the men whom you put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people. Then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people that they should have been stoned. That's how serious this is. And when they had brought them, they set them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, did not we straightly command you that ye should not teach Basham Mashiach Yahweh Shai in this name? That's the power. That's the spiritual power. Because that's how we reach the Most High, to get the power from the Most High. And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. That's something. That's a lot of nerve right there, right? So you intend to bring this man's blood upon us. When they had said, let me see if I can find it. They had said, crucify Mashiach that was side, let his blood be on us and on our children. That's what they said, right? Look, Matthew 27 and 25. Let's look at let's start at 22. No, it's two. It was Barnabas and Amashak Rashai, Barabbas, excuse me, Barabbas, not Barnabas, but Barabbas and Amashak Rashai they could have released, right? So let's look at Matthew 27. This is during the time of his crucifixion. Verse 21. The governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twain, that's the two, will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, what shall I do then with Hamashiach Yahushai, or Yahushai, which is called Hamashiach? That's very important, because he was called Hamashiach, the anointed, the Messiah. They all say unto him, let him be crucified, right? Kill him, let him be crucified. These are Israelites, the high priest, and so forth and so on, the elders and so forth. And the governor said, why? What evil have he done? But they cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified. The Hamashiach shot. Let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather turmoil was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on our children. That's why I'm here. What do they say? His blood be on us and on our children. So some of you are the children of those that vow this vow. His blood be on us and on our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them. And when he had scourged Mashiach Yahushua, he delivered him to be crucified. But he said what? In verse 24, when Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult, uproar was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. But then what did he do? Then released Barabbas, verse 26, unto them. And when he had, that's Pilate had, scourged Hamashiach Yahushua, he delivered him to be crucified. See? So he not innocent. And when they saying what they're saying in verse 28 of Acts the 5th chapter, they said, let his blood be on us and on our children, right? So here it is now. This only like 40, maybe 40 days later after they crucified him. No, 50, what we at? Yeah, it's about, maybe we'll say about between 50, 60 days later. No more than that, because it's Acts the 2nd chapter. That was the 50th day after he had been crucified in the day of Pentecost. So we in the Acts the 5th chapter. That's only a few days later. Here we are. Here it's saying, did what they're saying in Acts 5 and 28, saying, did not we straightly command you that ye should not teach in this name by Shama Mashiach Yahushai? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. Hear that? So you intend to bring this man's blood upon us. What did they say to Pilate? Crucify him and let his blood be on who? On us and on who? Our children. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to obey the Most High rather than men. The power of our fathers, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, raised up a Mashiach, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. We just read about it. But he was hung on a tree, not a cross. He was hung on a tree. And they said, crucify him, let his blood be on us and on our children. And a lot of you, the children of those that you can't, they're not going to see a Mashiach Yahushua, because they're the children of those that he's saying here, the Most High of our fathers, raised up a Mashiach Yahushua, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. him at the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and what? And forgiveness of sins. No one else. To give repentance to Israel, to the Israelites, and forgiveness of sins, and no one else. Jump up to verse 40. And to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of a Mashiach Yahushua. They should not speak by Shama Mashiach Yahushua. This is before Saul. Mind you, Saul was putting people in prison. He was there when Stephen got put to death. People was being put to death. For what? By Shama Mashiach Yahushua. And let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for by Shama Mashiach Yahushua in the name of the Lord and Savior. And daily in the temple and in every house, they cease not to teach and preach of Mashiach Yahushua. There it is. That was the boldness that they had in doing what they needed to do. No fear of anything. Matthew 10 and 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents. This is deep. And harmless as doves. So he said, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. You know, a wolf gonna eat up a sheep, right? That's his meal. So he said he's sending us forth, and them and us, even today, as sheep in the midst of wolves. He said, be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, right? So we got to look at that because that's real serious. That's why he said, so you know, Ephesians 6 and 11, you got to be wise as the serpents. It didn't say serpent, it says serpents. That's plural. A whole lot of cunning, crafty, sneaky people. Sleekly. That's why he say Ephesians 6 and 11. Ephesians 6 and 11 say, put on the whole armor. That armor is protection of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, the wiles of those that have bowed down to the devil, bowed down to Satan, and operating in his place as his imps. That's in control. That's why I say, put on the whole armor, the protection of the Most High. How you can put on protection of the Most High? He's not even in your conversation. It's more than just praying. His name's jealous. All I hear is I, me, all about people. He say, put on the whole armor of the Most High. I don't say, put on the whole armor of Israel. Put on the whole armor of this person, that person, whatever. He said, put on the whole armor of the Most High, protection of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Remember, he says it's an evil time, y'all. It's an evil time, man. But we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's high-level demons. And we got to learn to protect ourselves from with the whole armor of the Most High, y'all. Don't play with this, man. It's serious. That's why I tell you to be wise as serpents. And harmless as a dove. I mean, you got to know what's going on. We walking around here in darkness, ignorance, not knowing. You better be looking at what's happening. You can't get caught, you know, like a thief in the night. You're not supposed to be caught like that. You're supposed to be ready. So you ain't got to get ready. You're supposed to be ready. You ready, then you ain't got to get ready. That's for sure. For sure. That's why, look, be wise as serpent. It has to be coded, because if he just said be wise as these devils that's ruling over us, we probably wouldn't have the Bible. While you look at Revelation 12:3, there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. So why is it written like that? Why is it written? So that you can't really understand what it's talking about unless you really have been called to be able to learn what it is that it's talking about. You know, a red dragon, a great red dragon. You see, whenever they have their little commentaries and they try and break down these scriptures, they have a dragon, the dragon is red, and they have 7 heads on the dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they got and 10 horns, got 10 horns coming out of the 7 heads, and 7 crowns upon his head. So they got crowns on their heads, right? That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about the leading empires of the Edomite nation, the red dragon. They red. Esau came out red all over, like, and hairy all over like a hairy garment in Genesis 25:25. The 7 heads represent the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the British. The Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the British. As the 7 heads came into power. And the 10 horns are the 10 leading empires that support the 7 heads, or the EEC, the European Economic Community. The European Community is called NATO today. The 10 horns and 7 crowns upon their heads, because they have powers and authority, right? So now when you look at that red dragon, you go to verse 9, it says, excuse me, and the red dragon was cast out, that old serpent. Okay, now he told us, be wise as serpents, plural. Talking about that devil that was way back in Genesis 3rd chapter that deceived Eve, and she deceived Adam. That old serpent called the devil, see? And Satan was deceiving the whole world. They lied to the whole world. Remember, they deceived the whole world through their sorceries, through their witchcrafts. We read that in Revelation 18:23. He was cast out into the earth, excuse me, and his angels were cast out with him. So now, that's why we got to be wise as them. He said, but harmless as the dumb. And you got to better maintain your humility before the Most High. That's why you look at verse 15, and the serpent. Why is it written like this? It was supposed to be, everybody supposed to understand it. The serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, which is dealing with the philosophies, the lies, and false education, false religion, and all that stuff after they read the Israelites, man. That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood, of the lies. That's why he said, be wise as serpents. You got to know about this so that you ain't falling into the trap of being caught up in his sorceries, his witchcrafts, and so forth. Carried away with the flood of lies. And the earth helped the woman through the archaeology, anthropology, history, the books that's been, found throughout the world. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood of lies which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Out of his mouth, meaning what they're saying. The lies that they're telling you. And our people believe it, All these things that's, contrary to what we should believe in, operating in the truth. First and foremost, honoring the Most High. Honoring myself, that was shy, and honoring each other. Love the Most High with all our heart, mind, and soul, and strength, and love our neighbors ourselves, man. And the dragon, which is the serpent, which is the beast, which is Satan, and the serpent was wrought with the woman, which represent We, the 12 tribes of Israel, and went to make war with the remnant. That's the 1/3 of her seed. Not everybody, because they already got the 2/3. They're already going to follow what they want to follow. Remember, we read earlier, you go back to the beginning of this lesson, how we were made a covenant with the heathen. We want to be like the heathen until this day. We keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. That's right. That's the remnant of her seed, was keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. Who is it? What religion keep the commandments of the Most High? None of them. No religion keep the commandments of the Most High. That's talking about us. We the ones that keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. That's what he's coming up. That's why you better be ready. And the only way you're going to be ready is to have a relationship with the Most High. For real, he's the one going to save us. He's our Savior. He's going to tell Mashiach Yahushua to come and get us, judge and make war. Mashiach Yahushua, I showed you twice. He don't even know. Only the Most High, y'all. That's why it's very important to, have this relationship with the Most High and talk about him, because his name is jealous. And it's like all I hear about now is about people. People is more important than him. And he said, we forgot him. Better go back into this lesson, look at it. He said, we forgot him and threw him over our shoulder, man. Get him, man. Yup. God. Just Israelites, man, or other nations, now they talking about can other nations be saved and all that, man. They'll be trying to find out how we gonna be saved. Look, let me give you the scripture. Shoot, it's very important. Certain scriptures touch home with me. I just feel it, man. We're gonna go to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, and verse 13. It says, and therefore be thou not curious how the unrighteous shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. We both be concerned about how we're gonna be saved, man. Who gonna save us? The Most High. You ain't gonna be saved if you ain't got no relationship with him. Make that make sense. It's not gonna make sense to me. You're not gonna make it make sense to me. Even though my Mashiach Shai said, hey, what I hear the Father say, that's what I do, because he's the word of the Most High. What I see the Father do, that's what I do, because the Most High is the power. Yahweh is the power forever, never, 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 man. So it's very important. I would like to continue. I'm on one right now, but I have a lot more to bring, so I guess I have to continue this lesson. But I gotta end right now, and I want to lead you with. We have to come back to the Most High, who wrote the laws. We could just say, I hear people say, repent and keep the laws of the Most High, but most people don't even talk about the Most High. They don't know the Most High. They don't know him. We got to talk about him. It's like we just caught up in being robots and robotees. And I say it truthfully because I see people just say all praises. And it's just like clockwork. They just say all praises. So that leaves it open to all praises to them demons that's in this Bible, that's in this world, man, in high places. Oh, you can't even say all praise to the Most High. Think about that, y'all. But yet still, we're supposed to be in the truth, and we're supposed to be the ones supposed to be ruling the world forever. And the Most High, the only one, knows when he's going to send back a Mashiach Yahushua to judge and make war and set righteousness on this earth. And people don't want to hear because they want to remain in the congregation of the dead. Just be a bunch of robots and robotees. And that's it. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. I'm going to praise the Most High. I'm going to say all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the you Most High. Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you don't like it, take it up with the Most High. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power, y'all. I'm going to praise him. I'm going to keep on praising him much as I can with all my might. Believe this. You had you pulling scriptures, Psalm 119, verse 19. Open to me the gates of righteousness. I will go into them, and I will praise the Most High. That's right. I want to do a whole lesson on this, man. I did it. You know, I read from Psalm 148 and 49, 50. The last one was you praising the Most High, man. God. That's right. I got to go there. So you went there on me. Psalms 19. I love this, man. You can't praise him enough, man. That's what King David is doing. And the scriptures say that David was a man after the Most High's own heart, man. Not after no man, but after the Most High's own heart. Psalm 19 and 7. The law of the Most High is perfect, converting the soul. The testament of the Most High is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Most High are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Most High is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Most High is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Most High are true and righteous altogether, man. Understand this, man. That's why you have to praise the Most High, man. He the only one gonna save us. He the only one gonna save us. Nobody know but the Most High. Period. When you gonna bring this judgment on this earth. That's why I say, man. I'm gonna read this since you took me there. Psalm 148. Praise ye the Most High. Praise ye the Most High from the heavens. Praise him in the heights. Praise ye him, all ye angels, all his angels. Praise ye him, all his hosts. Praise ye him, sun and moon. Praise ye. Praise him, all ye stars of light. Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens. Let them praise the name of the Most High Yahweh. For he commanded, and they were created. He hath also established them forever and ever. He hath made a decree which shall not pass. Praise the Most High from the earth, ye dragons in all deeps, fire and hail, snow and vapors, snowy wind, fulfilling his word, mountains and all hills, fruitful trees and all cedars, beasts and all cattle, creeping things and flying fowl, all the way down to the insects and birds, kings of the earth, and all people, princes and all judges of the earth, both young men and maidens, old men and children. Let them praise the name of the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalted the horn, the power of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, are people near unto him. Praise ye the Most High. That's why I say, Kwam Abanawa Yahweh, Kwam Abanawa Yahweh, Kwam Abanawa Yahweh, Kwam Abanawa Yahweh, Kwam Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Kwam Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Kwam Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Kwam Mashiach Yahweh Shai, and Kwam Yasharella, Kwam Yasharella, Kwam Yasharella, and Kwam Yasharella. And with that, I'm out. And hopefully y'all could join us tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be at Hollywood and in front of the Dolby Theater, dropping this truth. Most High will. Thaahwam for joining me. And give me a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you then. Shalom.